Good afternoon, viewers. This is Praveen. Welcome back to our FB Live with Grenville. Today's topic is Live Your Life, Business Plan Approach. Grenville, welcome to the show.
Hi, Praveen. Nice to be back.
So, how are things this weekend?
Things are cool. Weekend is always more a laid back time and also a good time to catch up with our family. So, enjoying the day off.
So, my question is the topic is Live Your Life, a Business Plan Approach. What do you mean by that business plan approach?
See, the business planning is a process that was designed for applying to businesses, right? So, people normally associate a business plan to be something you make in your business and how do you run your business. But the principles of planning remain the same whether you talk about your business or you talk about your life. Okay, you plan everywhere. You plan in life and you plan in work. So there is not a very big difference between how you plan in life and how you plan your business. So you can easily apply those principles of business planning to your daily life and improve your quality of life and make your life a better place, better way of living. So people miss this aspect, and always when somebody associates with me, they think they should always talk about how do I apply these principles to business, which is what I think we should try and change in this episode when we talk about how we can apply all the principles of a business plan to our daily lives and improve that life and really live our life to our maximum potential.
Okay, that's interesting because the name says it's a business plan, so it's always people think that it is going related to business. So the next thing I wanted to ask you is that how does this business plan help us in what are the ways you can you have different sections of your business plan, and if I have a personal goal or anything which I wanted to do important in life, so how do you think that you can use the business plan approach to do that?
See, the first step of a business plan is introspection. That's what a business plan does, even to a person who's getting into business. So we try to bring clarity to a businessman saying, do you understand what you're getting yourself into? And do you actually know what you say you want to do? So that is more a psychological evaluation of what is his mindset, what is he trying to do, what are the things he's trying to achieve by getting into business. There is no financial aspect at that stage of a business plan. It's purely an introspection of what is in the mind of a businessman and how is he going to convert that business or a passion into a practical business. So those are the same things you apply to life, right? When you're trying to do anything, okay, when you're getting married, I mean, why do you get married? I mean, you want to start a family, you want to have children, you have aspirations and goals in a married life. Okay, when you're having children, you have aspirations for your children. Okay, so every aspect of your life, I mean, if you want to run a home, you want to do a budget. Why do you want to do a budget? You want to save money, you want to manage your finance. So everywhere you are applying these same principles that get applied to a business plan in trying to evaluate the reason or the goal, what you want to achieve from the perspective of a person's mindset. So this is a very, very common part of the business plan that you actually sit down and think, what am I trying to do? For example, a guy is starting his career, okay? He thinks, where do I want to reach? Okay, I want to become an entrepreneur. It takes him in a different course in his life. I want to be an employee and I want to become a CEO. Will take a total different way in his life on how he gets qualified, what does he do, how he approaches work will be totally different with the way he has a mindset to what he wants to reach. This is very similar to what we do in the business plan. If a businessman wants to create a product or manufacture a product, there is a different set of things he needs to do. If he wants to offer services, it's a different set of things he does. So it's the same principles in both. You apply them to business with an aim of making it into an executable business. In life, you actually try to reach your life goals. It's the same way you associate both the principles and go forward.
So you mean to say that we are following a business plan without even knowing ourselves?
Yeah,
We are
don't call it a business plan. Yeah, sorry, you were saying something?
To elaborate further, I would say that we are making a business plan without being documented. Am I right?
We make it again. You can treat your life like a business, right? It's finally a profit and loss statement, right? What you gain and what you lose in life is your whole life, correct? You achieve some things, you lose something. So it's pretty much like a balance sheet of a business, no? You make profit, you lose. So it's similar. I mean, you don't make it purely an intellectual approach. You just don't make it a practical mathematical calculation in life. There's a lot of sentiment involved. There's a lot of feelings involved, which overrules sometimes a practical approach you would apply in business. So that is a little bit of difference you will see in the way you apply the principles. But the way you do it is exactly the same. I mean, you run your life with a plan. Your life will be better. The quality of life will be better. The uncertainties will be less. You will be able to anticipate difficulties that could come. You will plan for certain aspects in your life. So that would make your quality of life better overall. So that's why we say you can live your life to your potential by applying the same principles we adopt in a business plan.
Okay. Then to be more to be more specific with the topic, so we are all of us have been living our life and we have some passions which is not being accomplished in our life. So my this thing is like how to go about the passion in our life, how to use your plan to get our passion, at least dream and get our passions achieved rather than being a passion as a passion. So what I mean to say is that I have a dream to do certain things. So how you will apply your plan on achieving my dream?
Okay, see, every business is a balance between passion and profit. Okay, even businesses.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm talking about a personal life on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain how similar they are. Okay. In business, it's a ratio between passion and profit. If you have 100% passion, you most probably will not run a profitable business. If you purely run after money, you will compromise on your principles just to make money, right? So that's how you have to strike a balance between your passion and money in the case of doing a business. In life, it's a balance between sentiment and practicality. Okay, you should not give in 100% to your sentiment, and then you'll take you totally off track and you'll end up nowhere. You cannot be 100% practical in life because life is not a machine. It's not a mathematical equation. So striking the balance between your sentiments and your feelings and your what you call practical approach to life is what makes you successful at life. So when you start a life, I mean, for example, when I was getting married, I mean, I did not do it as an exercise. I sat down and thought, first, can I afford being married? How am I going to take care of my wife? How am I going to have children? At that time, I had no clue. I was 23 years old. So that time it was very, very young in my life. And to a certain extent, I said, we will see. But then I looked at my bank balance and I looked at certain aspects saying, yes, I can run my day-to-day life and I can provide for the family. And I can also look at improving my career. That also brought the thought about how should I drive my career now? I need to get a promotion. I need to go to a better paying job. So those priorities in life changed with the way I approached my marriage. Yes, part of it was I was in love with my wife. I wanted to get married to her and have a married life. Was my sentimental edge of getting married. But the practical part of running a married life does stem back to providing for them. And also how we manage our relationship is the part where you have to bring practicality into it. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers your question. But on part of our viewers, what I wanted to know is like we all have some a dream, unfulfilled dream, and it remains an unfulfilled dream till a long time. Or like to have a simple example, when we are young, we want to drive a fancy bike. But at the age of 40, 50, we get a fancy bike, but we don't have the drive to drive it. So how to plan certain things of that? So I'm just taking up a bike as a simple thing, but everybody wants to do a big holiday, or they want to do something in life which, like seeing Facebook and things, at least we want to live that life a day. So how we can use the approach to do that?
Okay. See, as with a business, you set goals in business to achieve certain steps, right? You talk about expansion, acquisitions. You need to plan to get those things achieved, right? It starts with one part is what is going to be your strategic approach to get to that goal? What is going to be your financial requirements to generate the revenue to afford that goal? Okay, so you break it down into various steps of how do you reach the goal with using the required resources you have and bringing in additional resources as well. The same thing applies to life. You have a goal of buying a bike. Okay, what are the things you need? Let's just think very, very, what do you think you need to buy a bike? I'm asking you the same question back.
I need to have the funds to buy a bike. I need to pick up a model which I wanted to drive.
Okay, then.
These are the two things. What would make it more important for me to buy a bike?
Okay,
So
first you need to know how to drive a bike, right? Isn't that the first step? Before you even know the funds and whether you want to get a bike, if you don't know how to drive a bike, you'll most probably dash it. So you need to actually go and do driving classes and get a license to authorize you to drive a bike. Right? There are certain aspects of it which is not related to just because everybody always gets into everything saying money. Yes, money is required for every aspect, whether it's business or life. But there is the groundwork that we miss out in the goal of running after the money. Suppose you buy, for example, when I bought my first car, I didn't know how to drive the car. So it came and sat in my garage and looked so beautiful and I couldn't even get into it. Okay, it took me 3 days to get somebody to teach me how to change the gear and engage it to start the car. So I mean, we get so caught up with the aspect of achieving our goals, we forget to lay the groundwork. Okay. So the things you need to always do when you're trying to do any goal, okay, is sit down and say, what all do I need to reach there? Okay. First of all, am I strong enough to have a bike like a Bullet? I mean, am I strong enough to drive a Bullet bike? Or should I pick a kinetic Honda, which is a light bike? Do I know how to engage the gears, or would I rather just have an auto gear bike? I mean, these are things which are related to your safety, which are related to you actually driving safely on the road and being alive after buying the bike. No, I mean, those are things which would be a consequence of not thinking it out. Yes, I would like to have a flashy bike, but do you think that bike would be something I would like to drive the second day? The first day, I would really like to drive the bike. Yes. The second day, maybe, oh, you know what? It's so heavy. Let it be in the garage. I just go and take my friend's bike and drive it. The whole goal of what you set out to achieve is lost in a day. So the point, bike is an example, but this applies to everything in life. Okay, everybody associates needs and wants. Again, I think I should bring the aspect of needs and wants here. The difference between having a successful and a more organized life is to differentiate between your needs and your wants. Okay, now I'm going to put you on a spot. What is a need and what is a want? What do you think is a need and a want?
Need is something which we need, which is a must to run our daily life. And the want is something which can wait for some more time.
Okay. Okay, you're pretty much answered it. I just add a little bit more to it. You're right. Need is an essentiality. It's an essential part that you cannot do without. Okay, a want is something that you would like to have. Okay, very simply put. So something that you could afford not to have, but it also would be nice to have. So that would be that flavor of life that gives you the feeling of accomplishment, right? So when it comes to running a conservative life, you should first serve the needs and then try to look at whether I can afford the want, whether I need the want first in the first place, right? So that's how you balance your life all the way through life. You keep planning and making sure that your needs are first taken care of. You don't get into debt trying to achieve your wants and then not even able to manage your needs of a day-to-day basis. That is the danger of getting in. Most people get into this problem because they run after their dreams. They have all this wishful thinking and say, even at the risk of taking a debt, I will get into debt, but I want to achieve a dream. Okay, which is nice to give you that euphoria of achievement for a short period of time. Then the practicality of managing your day-to-day will kick in. And then the pleasure of that want that you had is lost because you're so much now trying to manage the problem you created for yourself by running after the want. So with everybody who's looking to get their lives and achieve their goals, absolutely dream. I believe there is no life and there's no accomplishment in life if you don't have a dream. But set up the way to get to that dream in steps. There is no elevator to success. It's better to take the steps. A step-by-step approach in everything in life gets you there, and it's also sustainable because you eventually build up to it rather than just jumping into it and then figuring out, oh my God, I'm in the wrong floor altogether. I need to take myself down 2 floors and then start building up to the 2 floors up. I hope you understand the example of an elevator and steps that I'm trying to explain. So I tell everybody who has a dream, keep your needs always in your focus, keep serving your need, okay, but always keep planning for your wants or your goals or your dreams. Okay, as you said, you want to have an international trip. You go out and find out what is the budget. Okay, you have various options of different places you can go to, right? You can go somewhere close and initiate your dream by visiting some places in India, for example. If traveling is your passion, I mean, okay? You want to go to Switzerland, and that is a big budget. Save up every month. Put aside a certain amount of money that allows you to travel and go abroad. Now, I'd like to take an example of my brother. Okay, he's in Australia. He comes every second year to India. He actually has a separate account that he and his wife put money away every month. And that is the only money they spend when they come to India. That is their overall saving that allows them to come and go by business class from Australia to India and have enjoy themselves in that period of 20 days or 30 days they're in India. They splurge. But they have planned, and this does not affect their day-to-day when they go back. This is not affecting the day-to-day running of life.
Yeah, that was a nice explanation, General, and we are getting short of time. So I will just ask you a final question on it. So I took the example of your brother and also about a car. So what I found is with the brother that it has been a need that he needs to travel to India to meet you and your parents and things like that. So that becomes a different objective as well. So the car, what you said, people can go with a small Maruti car as well as to a BMW car. Everybody wants to drive a BMW car.
Sure.
So what would we want to do is like, how do you use the theoretical or analytical approach of your business plan to achieve those dreams? So I think we would be short of time to make an explanation on this. Can you make it very brief so that we can take on to any viewers' questions?
Yeah, there's not a long explanation to this, by the way. It's very simple, okay? You can approach this in two ways. One, you can save up and buy it, or you can take a loan and repay it, okay? One, you expose yourself to a debt when you take a loan, which is a risk. But as long as you've accounted it as a forced saving, which in a way forces you to save, that itself creates a mentality of allocating a certain part of your funds, which you cannot use for your day-to-day. So that's one good way of managing your money as well that you earn to put away to your dream. So you can enjoy the dream right now. Okay, maybe compromise on the level of the Ferrari you want to buy and buy maybe something like a BMW or whatever, which is half the price and which would still give you the pleasures of driving a fantastic car. But you can pay every month, okay, towards a loan, which is worth getting it away when you calculate the way your money is going to devalue, and enjoy the pleasure of your dream in the short term. Or the safer way would be to save, which is a much longer road, and live with your current means of transportation till you're able to afford to buy the car. There's just two ways you can go about doing it. So there are both safe ways of doing it, both with different degrees of risk, and also with the mathematical calculation, which I would not go into, on how you manage it and you get it done. So both can be done.
That's good. Any viewers' question on that?
I think our topic was so good. I think they have no questions.
Okay. Then what we'll do is, since we are getting close to our time frame of half an hour on that, so what I'm suggesting is that maybe next week we should have a deep look at the business planning approach. Like what are the steps you do, and what are the things we need to have it in present, so that we can use it for business as well as for personal life. And let's see how we can take it forward with an examples of as well as business as a personal life.
Sure, I think that will be really valuable to people. I mean, I would suggest that viewers who are on the live right now, as well as those who view the video as well, if you have any questions, if you like us to address a specific part of a business planning process or on the way it is applied, feel free to leave the comments on our YouTube or on the Facebook page, and we will incorporate it into our next session, which will be next week at the same time.
I think we are in time to.
We have a question from Mahesh. I have a question regarding need and want. How do you differentiate between a need and a want? Thanks, Mahesh, for the question, and I'm going to answer it, Praveen. So, as I think I mentioned in this the earlier part of this discussion, a need is an essentiality. Okay, if you ask a question, can I do without this for a week or for a month, then that is definitely not a need. Okay, that's a very simple thumb rule way of evaluating a need and a want. Okay, if something that I can put off for next month, that should be put off for next month. I should focus on what I need right now, and I should go and invest or buy only that I need right away. And keep putting off those things that if I could afford it, yes, buy it right now. But if I cannot afford it, that's how you prioritize your life, saying these are the things that I'm going to take. I have to keep right now to keep my things going. And these things I can put up for a later day. That also encourages you to get into the planning aspect of the business. So you always plan to invest for that want. Next month, you know that, okay, so much of money is going to go into your need, the want, sorry. I have another question, Praveen. In addition to differentiating need and want, how do you define the top line on risk while deciding the wants? Yeah, that is also a very interesting question. Okay. Again, the point is to balance the risk and the return, right? If you're going to get into getting something that you would like to have and it's going to expose you to a huge risk, that is an alarm that should go off in your head saying, do I need to take this risk to serve that want? Okay. So you do not get what you like to have if it's exposing you to a risk. And that is where the part comes for a judgment call. And there is no book or no philosophy that can give you 1, 2, 3, 4 points that you can actually gauge, saying that this is my checklist to check off that I can go in for this. Okay. There is always a risk involved in any decision you make, right? So you have to make the call saying, for this decision that I'm taking, what is the extent of risk I'm exposing myself? It's also the appetite of each person to how much of risk they would like to take. Some people are very risk oriented. They're happy to take risk to achieve their goals. Some people like me are very conservative in our risk taking. I like to plan out my risk and evaluate my risk versus return and then get into something. I hope that answers the question, Captain Super. Sorry, Praveen. You're saying something?
That was an interesting explanation. I think most of us get into that problem of understanding a need and a want. I think that's a good way of explaining it. Thanks.
Great. I think this session was awesome, Praveen. Thank you for hosting this session with me.
It's always a pleasure, Kanwal.
And we will take more questions if there are anyone on the line who would like to ask questions. So as I said, please do feel free to post it in the comments on the video or on our FB page or the YouTube channel. And we will incorporate it in the next session. And as Praveen said, we will get more into the business planning aspect from next week. And we'll try to decide how we'll take the sessions going forward. We will try to keep it a very generic discussion in the coming week, and then maybe go in more deep depending on how much people see value in what we're trying to achieve. Is that okay, Praveen?
Yeah, that would be a good approach.
Great. We finished 5 minutes early today, Praveen. So our timing is just the opposite of last week. We really kept to the time this time.
We need to. See, when we go for planning, we need to have discipline. So let's get into the discipline of doing things in time.
Okay, you're the boss. Thank you, Praveen. And thank you, everybody who came on live to view this episode. The recording would be on my FB page, as well as I'll be posting it on my YouTube channel. So please do visit and do like and share this with anybody who would like to be interested. And let your friends also know that they could come on Sundays at 2 p.m., where I would be with Praveen and we'll be discussing topics related to business planning, as well as trying to relate it on how we can apply it for both our business as well our life, rather than the theory behind the business planning process. That's what we're trying to focus on.
Thank you all, friends and viewers. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Have a good time. Bye-bye.